back when I was a special ed teacher, I was having these crazy health problems that nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. And I went to a specialist finally. She told me, honey, you're very stressed. You need to get a new job. And I was like, you're so funny. And she was like, no.
I love teaching. I hate being a teacher. The system breaking educators. There's a phrase I keep hearing. I love teaching. I hate being a teacher. That difference matters because it suggests the problem isn't the craft. It's the system wrapped around it. Let's look at what teachers are actually saying.
I never knew that I would be the one to say this, but I hate being a teacher. I hate it so much. I hate everything that comes with it, from the paperwork to the politics to the damage that I'm doing to our kids. And
Wait, what damage are you doing to the kids? I think every teacher should be a net benefit to kids around them.
it's getting to the point where I just can't do it anymore. I cannot continue to work for a system. Now, I don't have anything against the people who do good inside of education, public education, private education, no matter what. But when it comes to this actual system of schooling, I can't do it. Now, that's not to say that I do not love the art of teaching, but I just hate being a teacher. And I don't know when this came up. I don't know when this like popped into my head, but ever since it came into my mind, it's been very, very heavy. Like, I've been honestly thinking about all the things that education is, or schooling is today. And for example, we have so many arbitrary rules that students are expected to conform to. I feel like this schooling that we have right now is nothing but who can create the biggest dog and pony show, horse and pony, however you say it, who can create the biggest show. And it's all about money. It's all about data. It's not really for the kids anymore. And well, I don't know. It never was for the kids. And I think that's one of the reasons why it has driven me to this mindset, to this point. I'm more of a person who wants to see the kids.
All things aside, I love that quote. It has driven me to this mindset. I want to start quoting that. It's driven me to this mindset. The next person I see and I talk about my thoughts, it's driven me to this mindset. No, I'm kidding. It's just a great
person
quote.
who wants to see the kids develop and wants to see them grow and genuinely cares about their learning process. But schooling nowadays, teaching nowadays is not it. I just can't do it.
See, that's what's difficult about being a teacher, is that you can say that you care about the kids, but you feel that you are damaging them. No, we're in this fight. We do it for the kids. We're staying in teaching because we want to help kids. We want to see them succeed in the future. So let's see what the comments say. I'm an assistant principal. I don't like my job. Literally lying here, not wanting to get up. Oh, wow, that's sad. Had my first 3 months as a teacher. I'm 22. I hate being a teacher. Wow, that's shocking. He says it's about the politics. It's about paperwork. It's about data. It's a show. And this is a tension educators have talked about for years. When metrics matter more than mastery. When test scores matter more than curiosity. When compliance matters more than growth. Teachers feel like actors in a performance. He says he wants to see the kids develop. That's a craft-driven mindset. But if the system rewards numbers over nuance, frustration develops.
In the fall of 2019, I was granted a protection order against one of my students. The protection order also includes my 2 children and my husband.
When I say that my school was not supportive, I think that's an understatement. Some of the administration were actually mad. They were mad at me. They voiced their anger about it. As a matter of fact, while all this was happening, and if you've ever been in a situation like that, it really felt like I was dying slowly. Like every single day was a struggle to get up, get dressed, put one foot in front of the other, and go to work. And during this difficult time, I was actually called in and sat down with administration. And when I say administration, I'm talking about superintendent, assistant superintendent, 2 principals, and then I had union representation. But in the midst of this very, very low point and very scary time for me and my family, I was called into a meeting with these people, and I was criticized openly in the meeting for... Actually, I don't know why they were so critical of me. I think had you been a fly on the wall in that conversation, you would have thought that I was pursuing a restraining order against my administration. As a matter of fact, the assistant superintendent actually threatened to contact the judge who was overseeing my case and have a talk with her about it because... Actually, I don't know the answer to the because he was mad at me. I don't know. Like, this is the shit I have to sort out with my counselor every single week because it's complicated. And as I sit here now, I look back and I can clearly see that I should have gotten up, left that room, and really left my job, to be honest. But I did try to stay, and it only went downhill from there, as you can imagine. For example, the day after I had to go to court for the second time, which was very painful because he was a juvenile, I had to go to court with him and with his family. And it was the last thing I wanted to do, but I did it. For the record, I didn't take a day of work off from the time that I found out about all of this concerning behavior and the 2 court dates. But the day after my court date, I took a personal day. And while I was trying to relax, the head of personnel actually called me to ask me why I had taken a personal day that day.
You know, that happens a lot. As teachers, we feel guilty for taking personal days. When we do take one, people get upset with us. I think it's very important for schools to enforce teachers, push them to take personal days. Otherwise, burnout occurs. Let's see some of the comments. Have you considered suing the district? Wow, so wrong that the administration was more concerned with the offender's situation than yours. Sadly, they'll have to learn the hard way. Someone says here, I'm so sorry. A student threatened to shoot me. I asked that he be moved to another class. That request was denied. This one is extreme but important. She needed a protection order from students, struggled to get up for work, called into admin, criticized instead of supported. When teachers feel unsafe and unsupported, morale collapses. No profession retains people under those conditions.
Ooh, I got a back to school story for you, and I've been itching to tell this one. For those of you who don't know, I was a teacher for 10 years. Then I resigned. The reasons nobody really knew because I didn't tell my side of the story. And although I'm no longer an employee and I'm no longer a teacher, there are still parts of the stories that I will keep to myself until I feel like I'm ready to share them. But this one I think is really important. Imagine working for a district that is so gung-ho about promoting mental health, all rah-rah, we're advocates for taking care of your mental health, but then getting pulled into a meeting with the district principal where they quite literally tell you that it is distasteful for you to be sharing stories about your mental health, which you were doing in an effort to destigmatize conversation around mental health.
This one's nuanced. As teachers, we're supposed to keep some of these private issues to ourselves. It can really impact our students. So, I don't know. She claims she's the victim. I don't know, perhaps she is, but I think oversharing with kids, you're an adult. You're not supposed to share your struggles with them, not all of them. If somebody passes away, you can tell your students, listen, this is what happened. But I think we are in such, what do they call it? Emotional incontinence, that we cannot control our emotions anymore. And that filters through to our students who are still growing up and sensitive to these issues. So we've got to be responsible in how we deal with our students, especially with mental health. She's not a mental health professional, she's a teacher. And we do have to help our students, but they shouldn't become sponges for the problems we have in our personal lives.
To make matters spicy, the district principal decides to make a joke out of it and say something along the lines of, I wouldn't even tell my friends and family about my mental health issues, let alone the internet. There were 5 of us in that room, by the way. Not to mention that I am a South Asian female talking about mental health, which is already a...
Identity politics. Yeah, listen, we're more than the color of our skin. We're professionals, we're teachers, and that comes first. I mean, it's who you are, not what you are.
Already a hugely stigmatized topic within my culture. It was awkward silence. That conversation was really eye-opening for me because it made me realize how much lip service this district gives to its employees, the parents, and to students. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, that was just one person's opinion, prerogative, bias, blah, blah, blah. Yes, but this is that one person who is in a position of power whose opinion and bias matters. And if it's people like that you have representing your district, that's a red flag. And I still remember how fearful the district was of me and my platform because of what I might share. The district tried quite literally to scare me into silence, telling me that I had...
Whenever someone says literally, it gives me pause to think.
A code of ethics that I needed to follow, that I couldn't speak poorly about the district. My platform has grown significantly since then. I'm no longer a teacher. I'm no longer bound by those code of ethics. And I'm resentful because I was treated wrongly. Distasteful things were said to me. This was one of many turning points in my career. And I know this district is still watching my TikToks like a hawk. So consider it a favor that I didn't name drop the district or the district principal.
Yeah, because you'd probably get sued. Listen, I disagree with this lady. I don't know, she might watch this video and be very upset with me, then I apologize. But we're adults. We have to be smarter about how we deal with kids, and also just hiding behind mental health for whatever issue you have in life is not a way to live. Yeah, that's how I feel. You seem like the kind of person that would sue anyone who has a different opinion than you. So yeah, that's kind of scary. This is where things get complicated. She discusses mental health and identity openly. There's a balance here. Students absolutely benefit from emotionally safe classrooms, but classrooms are not therapy sessions. And when personal ideology overshadows academic focus, trust breaks, especially with parents and maybe admin. Teachers already under scrutiny feel even more exposed. That tension adds stress.
I walked away from a 17-year teaching career, something that I was very good at. I did very well at. It consumed my life for a long time. Since I have not been in the classroom, my kids have noticed things about me. And I asked them just to write down 5 things, or tell me 5 things. My daughter wrote hers down. My son, he just told me. My daughter says, okay, number 1, not hateful. Number 2, the house is clean. Number 3, good food. Number 4, not always in bed. And number 5, smiles more. Y'all, my son, like I said, he is 13. He's going on 14. Boy, a few words. Energetic, peaceful, home, more helpful, and more tolerant. If you needed a sign to get out of the autopilot mode and the stage of your life where you just feel like your family is getting the least of you, you need to try something new. I tried digital marketing in early of 2024, and I did it on the side while I was teaching, and now I'm home with my family. So if you needed a sign to start, let this be your sign.
I don't know why all these teachers that have left teaching and are successful see it as a sign to tell other teachers to quit too. Support is great, but I think it's not for everyone. Everyone has a unique situation. Not everyone can go into digital marketing and be successful. Let's see what the comments say. Teaching takes us away from our families. It's a terrible job. Well, any job takes you away from your family. No one except another teacher understands how consuming teaching is as a profession. It's a toxic profession. You might decide to go back later on, but good for you for seeing how much your family needed you more than you needed that teaching job. Not everyone can do that. This is me. How did you afford to get out? See, that's something we have to consider. This one might be the most telling. She quits after 17 years. Her child noticed she smiled more, she's energetic, the house is calmer, there's better food, she's present. That's not a lazy person. That's someone who was depleted. When leaving a job improves your mental health that dramatically, it raises questions.
Back when I was a special ed teacher, I was having these crazy health problems that nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. And I went to a specialist finally. She told me,
The energy drinks.
You're very stressed. You need to get a new job. And I was like, you're so funny. And she was like, no, I'm serious. Your job is you. So eventually I ended up leaving like 5 years after that. And my health problems all just kind of mysteriously went away. So it turns out she was right. Fabulous doctor, great advice that I wish I would have taken sooner. If you are a teacher with mysterious health problems, or not mysterious, and you know that it is in fact directly related to your teaching job, which, spoiler alert, probably is.
I'm not sure she comes across as being the most believable or trustworthy. I had fertility issues and I had to take a leave for 2 months for something unrelated, and I got pregnant a month into my leave. Could be a coincidence, could be because less stress. I notice my heart rate gets pretty high while I'm at work. I'm not a teacher, but I'm a teacher assistant, and some days are tough. Then it goes back to normal when I'm home. Chronic stress doesn't stay at work. It becomes insomnia, anxiety, physical illness, emotional numbness. Teaching used to be hard but sustainable. Now many describe it as unsustainably consuming. That difference is everything.
Okay, I have to give my 2 cents about this trend that's going viral on TikTok right now about teachers saying in your 20s you're going to want to be a teacher. It's really important you pick a different career. Importantly, I do want to start by saying that everybody's allowed to have their own opinions. Like, if you regret becoming a teacher, who am I to tell you that you're not allowed to regret that? But I also want to give my perspective on the opposite end of it, where I feel like teaching has changed my life for the better. It literally has made me who I am today. That being said, teaching is freaking hard. It's really hard. Like, not everybody can do it. That's for sure. It's definitely a profession that you are not prepared for what you have to do in your credential program, in your student teaching, in your internships. You're never fully prepared until you're like in it and doing it. But to say I regret it, never, ever. Because even if at some point in my life I choose to go in a different direction, or maybe my teaching path might look different, maybe not in a like traditional classroom, there are things that I have learned through my classroom experience that I truly feel like you can't learn anywhere else. I guess I want to make this video for somebody who's maybe going through the credential program right now, who maybe you've had to leave the classroom mid-year because you're feeling discouraged and you're questioning everything. Let me tell you, just keep going. If you are called to teach, and for me, I very much believe in my faith in God, and I feel like He led me, He called me, I saw it. He showed me like that this was what I was supposed to do. I just have very vivid memories of a little girl with my teachers, and they're just little things in my life that have always added up. And so when I went into this profession, I knew like it was gonna be my calling. And that is one thing I'll say. If you're not called to it, you will not have the grace to do it because it's hard. There's a lot that goes into teaching. You're not just teaching curriculum. You're giving out your heart and soul for these kids. But the reward of it, oh my gosh. Like, to know that you've impacted students, but not only students, but families. Like, we just went through parent conferences, and as I was sitting with these families, like, you are literally spending so much time with other people's treasures, like their babies. This is their whole life. Some of them are only children. Like, that's the only one they got, and that's the only one they treasure. And I know that there are parents out there that don't care about their kids. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to focus on the good. Like, you are literally called and given the honor and privilege to take care of those kids, not just academically, but also emotionally and I dare say spiritually, in a sense that, like, you're like their protector when they're at school. And we teach them more than just math and reading. We teach them how to be good little humans too. We have to have a functioning classroom, a functioning environment where kids can learn, overcome conflict. They can communicate properly. They can partner share properly. They can understand and then produce. There's so many things. So if you're in the thick of it, if you're in the thick of a program and you're like, oh my gosh, did I make a mistake? Because this is all over the internet right now. Hold on to what you know. Don't be swayed by videos of people saying they regret it. Is the pay low? Yeah, I remember somebody telling me in the credential program, like, hey, you're not doing this for the money. You're not doing this for the money. Like, never once did I pick this career because I was going to be rich. Ever. I just knew that the Lord was going to take care of me in the other areas. If he called me to this, then I knew that everything else would come after. But that's neither here nor there. If this is what you're called to do, there's going to be such a grace and such a fulfillment. Like, I feel so fulfilled from my job. And I didn't understand that until the end of my first year. I remember my first year, I could list off every single student in my class. I had 19 kids. I still remember their faces. I still remember the memories and the birthdays and everything because I was just so impacted by those kids. Have I had difficult years? Yes. Last year was one of the hardest years I've been teaching for. This is my 8th year. So last year was my 7th year. It was the hardest year of my career. And still, there were moments of fulfillment in that year as well. And also remember, in every job and every career and every profession, things are going to get hard.
Yeah, that's true. We can't just expect everything to be easy all the time. That's not how life is. That's not how work works.
So I have to come to bat with the teacher slander because I feel like, yes, it's hard, but also it's so rewarding. And it's like the best job in the world to be able to say that you go to work and you are just like nurturing and taking care of these little humans who literally trust you more than anybody.
But it's easy to say that if you're in a school that takes care of you, with students that are hardworking, and there are few issues with discipline. It's much different if you're in a school where the kids act out, the parents don't support you, and it makes a big difference where you teach.
And just that is such a privilege, no matter the age. Even if you're teaching kindergarten or you're teaching middle schoolers, some of those middle schoolers have nobody to trust, and you're the only person that shows up for them day in and day out. So just remember that. If that's something that you were drawn to for the profession, because if you were drawn to teaching for money, which I've never heard of, then yeah, you're going to be pretty disappointed that first time you get the check. But if you're drawn to this profession because you want to make a difference in this world, you want to impact people's lives, you want to be that one person that always shows up for your kids because you know that they might not have anybody else, keep going. Keep going. Keep doing it. You're going to get through it. You're going to get your own classroom. You're going to get to make it a home, and you're going to get to make it just everything you want it to be. And you're going to look back and you're not going to have any regrets, because even though I've had really hard years, I don't regret choosing this. Even though in the future, I might not stay in the classroom until I retire. I don't know. I love my job, but I don't know. Who knows what my future looks like? I never would ever say that I regret everything that this journey of teaching has taught me. It has taught me so much about myself. It's taught me so much about my childhood and my childhood traumas as well, like to see it lived out in some of the kids. And now I understand, like, it's been such a joy and such a learning experience. And I don't have the privilege of having my own kids yet, but I feel 100,000% that this profession has, like, on a somewhat level prepared me to be a parent as well, because I've seen how different kids are. You could have the same grade level. I've taught third grade for 7 years, and each year is different because all kids are different and you have to learn each one. And that's a very small part of parenting. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'd be the perfect parent because I've never experienced it.
Let's look at some of the comments. It says, "It is true, I love teaching. I think it's hard, but I feel like it has grown me in so many ways. I love to teach." The negative side of teacher talk is so draining. As a teacher myself, I want to say a huge thank you for this beautifully said positive reminder. She says teaching is hard. It's hard work. It's draining, but it's meaningful. That's what keeps many teachers in the classroom. Purpose. But purpose cannot override burnout forever. Even a calling needs support. So do teachers regret becoming teachers? Well, some do. Not because they hate kids, but because attention spans shifted. Discipline systems softened. Parent dynamics changed. Administrative pressure increased. Paperwork expanded. Mental health demands rose. And support often shrank. The real question isn't, are kids worse? It might be, have we expanded the teacher's role beyond what any one human can sustainably carry? And if we don't address that, the regret won't just stay on TikTok. It will stay in the staffing shortages,